It's been 6 years since Netflix announced a German show that would change the mystery genre forever. A group of strange kids living in a strange village surrounded by a strange forest started traveling through time, and fans all over the globe went crazy about it.
Since 2020, the series Dark is finally over, but there is still one big question bothering me since that day. The question is not when. The question is where. Where did all that happen? And where the heck is this mysterious town, Winden? Let's find out. Okay, before we try to find some of the shooting locations today, I think I need to disappoint you first. You know, a lot of things shown in the Netflix series are not as they seem. Obviously, it's a mystery show, so most of it can't be real. But the same also applies for the shooting locations. The famous town Winden shown in the series actually doesn't really exist. In fact, there is a place called Winden in Germany's region Rhineland-Palatinate, but this place has absolutely nothing to do with the town shown in the series. Most of the scenes instead were filmed right next to Germany's capital, Berlin. Here in Brandenburg, there are huge wooden areas and a lot of dark forests, the perfect place if you want to film a mystery show. And the first place I want to show you today is the place where it all started. If you remember the first season, there is this scene where Jonas and his friends are meeting under an old bridge on disused railroad tracks. And then they walk to the Winden Cave, and then Mikkel gets lost and the story begins. Let's try to reconstruct that scene. Okay, here we are. Somewhere here near this small residential area must be the place I'm searching for. The mysterious dark bridge. And in fact, it shouldn't be that hard to find because somebody already marked this place on Google Maps called Dark Brücke, Dark Bridge. Yeah. And it seems like we have to go through the woods to find it. And ta-da! Here we are. That's the old bridge from the Dark series. Actually, it's just a stupid old bridge and nothing special about it, but it's such an iconic place. If you have watched the series Dark several times like I did, there was so much happening here, and especially in the first episode where Mikkel gets lost, this was a quite important place. This is the very first scene where the bridge appears in the Netflix show. In the very first episode, Martha is already waiting under the bridge, balancing on the old railroad tracks, and then Jonas is arriving with his bicycle. And if we do the reality check, you will notice, ta-da, there's something changed. You see, there are no lights on the bridge. They built them for the series, obviously, which also means in reality this place is even darker than in the series. You can also see there are some tree trunks on the ground. I have absolutely no idea why. Maybe it's because there are no cars allowed here, but that makes actually no sense because they could just pass anyway. But as you can see here, they are not there in the series. Okay, but the more important question is, are there really railroad tracks under this bridge, or is this just fake? Let's do the reality check. So, here we are. And as you can see, yep, it's no fake. There are railroad tracks under this bridge. And I think we need to go down there. There are some stairs here. It seems a bit slippery. Should I risk that? I don't know. Okay, let's try. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god. If this is my last video, you know why. Okay. Here we go. Okay, it's... Oh god. Damn! Damn! Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay. Damn. That was slippery. Okay, here we are. This is the iconic place. The old railroad tracks. Actually, I thought these tracks are much longer. They end there, you see that? And actually on this side there are no railroad tracks at all. This is the first scene you see here from the railroad tracks. Jonas is coming down, but obviously he didn't take the stairs and he obviously didn't slip because he's coming from another direction. As you can see here, the trees are different. You see that big tree here? There is no big tree there. But there is a big tree here, over here. That seems to be the tree Jonas is standing in front of. So, which means Jonas didn't take the stairs. Jonas chose an even more slippery way to get to the railroads. In the next scene, you can also see that he's coming from the right direction, from over here, and arrives at the railroad tracks. The funny thing is, I guess in the show they took off the stairs. Am I right? There are no stairs in the scene, but in reality there are stairs. So, but the bridge is exactly the same. There are these two trees on the right side. They are also here in the series. And the graffiti is a bit different, obviously, because this was filmed 4 or 5 years ago. So in this scene you see Martha standing on the tracks. That was filmed from here. You see, not much has changed. The trees are the same. Yeah, of course, only Martha is missing in reality. I think she's in a different time zone or something right now. In this scene, you see Franziska is hiding the box and Magnus is watching her. And if you ask me, these railroad tracks are not a good hiding place. Look at that. You can put your foot through and I'm pretty sure what you hide here will be gone tomorrow. So, Franziska, that was stupid. Sorry, I'm sorry for that. And last but not least, the most important scene, the kids are leaving into that direction to go to the famous Winden Cave. And I would say we should do exactly the same. By the way, this old track was built in 1913. It belonged to an old railroad line called Friedhofsbahn, and in 1961 it had to stop operating because the Berlin Wall was built. Train traffic was no longer possible anymore, so they shut it all down, and these old railroad tracks lie here abandoned since 60 years. And if you walk into that direction, you will see a lot of more interesting stuff. For example, abandoned stations and stuff totally covered with trees. It's quite interesting, but actually not what I want to see today. I want to see the Winden Cave. So where is it? Well, to solve the riddle, this path is not the right way to get to the Winden Cave. This was totally fake in the series. If you walk into that direction, you will somehow get to the Wannsee. That's a huge lake next to Berlin, but there is no cave or something. You see that? this is the way. It's a wooden area, but there's no cave at all. If that's not the way, where do we have to go? Well, to find the shooting locations of the cave, we need to drive like 17 kilometers into a totally different direction. And well, that's what I'm doing now, if I ever get up there again. Okay, it's still slippery. So, here we are on the other side. That's how the mysterious old dark bridge looks from the other side. I think it's also quite interesting to check out that area before we leave, because that must be the place where the Magnus Franziska scene was filmed, where Magnus is watching Franziska where she's hiding the box. Ta-da! That's the tree where Magnus watches Franziska down on the rails. As you can see, there was no Dixie toilet in the series. And in this scene, you see Franziska down on the rails, and that must have been filmed from here somewhere. That's the tree on the right corner. Yep. Look at that. That's exactly the same scene. Anyway, we shouldn't spend so much time on Magnus and Franziska. Actually, I hate Magnus. I think he was the most annoying kid in this series. What do you think? Anyway, let's try to find the cave. That's even more interesting. Welcome to the Saaremund Forest, deep in the woods. This place is also marked on Google Maps as the place where we should find the entry of the Winden Cave. And if we can trust that map, this place should be behind that little hill over there. But I cannot see a cave there. That's the place where the famous Winden Cave should be. But all I see is forest, but there is no cave here. There is no cave. What about that direction? Well, that looks quite familiar, but there is no cave. Am I at the wrong place? Okay, that might be the next big disappointment. There is no cave here in the forest. In fact, there has never been a cave here in the forest. The producers of the Netflix show built some kind of cave dummy here in the forest. That's what you see in the series as the entry of the Winden Cave. The scenes inside the cave were shot in Germany's Harz Mountains, which is quite far away from here, but there's a real cave where you can shoot scenes from inside, and the outside scenes were shot here in the Saaremund Forest with a cave dummy. But if we walk around this curve right here and take a look, this place looks familiar, doesn't it? Yep, that's the Winden Cave, or what's left of it. Let's take a look at the scenes. You see Jonas here in front of the cave, and there are actually two quite iconic things in front of the cave. Two trees, one on the left and one on the right, with two tree trunks. Interesting. And if you take a look at the reality, you will see, yep, this is exactly the place where the cave was standing. You see the tree on the left and you see the other tree on the right with the two tree trunks. And it also doesn't matter what century we're traveling, the place is always the same. You see that here, that's the place where the famous Winden Cave stood. And here we are in the... What exactly is that? What was that? The 20s? No. It's still the same place, deep in the Saaremund Forest. Let's see how it looks from the other side. The good thing is, since there is no cave, we can just walk through. Oh, by the way, is that safe? Or is this some kind of loophole? Okay. This must be the year 1986. Let's take a closer look. This is the view from inside the cave. Ta-da! Yep. That's exactly the same location. Not much has changed, even though this is the year 1986. Here we have a scene, as you can see. Seems to be the same place, but they put some rails on the ground. And this is a scene from the present, 2019. Jonas in front of the cave. And as you can see, yep, that's exactly the place, even though the cave is gone. Okay, that was the Winden Cave. But there is still one thing I'd like to mention. Look at this iconic tree, the double tree. I think this tree will fall someday. This doesn't look healthy, to be honest. And I think if I come back here in 33 years, this area will definitely look different. There are a few more places we cannot visit today because they are just not there. For example, there is this huge nuclear power plant in the middle of the woods, which plays a quite important role in the series Dark. This place actually doesn't exist. The power plant is CGI. There has never been a nuclear power plant somewhere here in the middle of the woods. And the other place is this famous, huge Winden Road you see in the series, like in every episode. This road actually does exist, but it's not a real road. It's private property. It's part of a driving school, and unfortunately, the owners never answered my email, so we cannot visit this place today. But there are a few other interesting places you can visit all year and for free. And this is the next one I want to show you. So here we are at the Neudorf Ponds. This place is quite important because this is the lake where the future Jonas kisses the present Martha, I think in season 2 or 3. I don't really remember. And this is also the lake where the group of kids always go swimming. But I think I'm at the wrong side of the lake. You see this electricity tower over here. I'm pretty sure you can see that here in this scene where Franziska and Magnus are in the lake. But if that tower is over here, then I must be on the wrong side of the lake. Let's try to find the way to the other side. Oh my god, why does it have to be so slippery everywhere? Oh no, what is that? We can't go on the other side. But that could be actually the place where Magnus was standing in the scene. Because then you have the lake and also the electricity tower on that side in the background. But anyway, I have to repeat myself. Nobody cares about Magnus. We have to find out where Jonas and Martha are kissing because it's all about them. And it's so slippery here. Okay. Now we are on the other side of the lake. Don't ask me how I got here. This is definitely the Franziska scene. If you walk to that island, I will show you. So here we have Magnus. He was standing next to this tree you see over here, and in the next scene you see Franziska and Magnus, and that's this lake. Let's do a little real life comparison. Ta-da! Yep, it's exactly the same lake. There's the electricity tower in the background. And that was definitely filmed from here. But I still have no idea where the Martha scene was filmed.
Well, and then I got unexpected help from a friendly guy, the head of the local fishing association here, and he finally led me to a place that looks quite similar to the scene from the show.
Ja, das kann wohl sein. Das ist auf jeden Fall der Sandstrand.
But in the end, it was still not the same.
Okay, as you might have seen, I got a little help from a friendly guy who said that the Martha and Jonas scene was filmed here. It doesn't look like that because there is no white sand, obviously, but he said that they put the white sand here to film that scene. I'm not really sure if this is correct. I don't know. I really don't know. This doesn't look like the scene in the series. Not the same trees. No, this looks different. Sorry, friendly guy. Okay, wait a minute. What about this place? There's the grass on the right side and there's also some grass. No, I think that's also not the place I'm searching for. Okay, sorry for that. I know it's a bit disappointing, but I'm finally giving up. I cannot find the Martha Lake. I can find the Franziska Lake and the Magnus Lake and everyone else's lakes, but I cannot find the Martha and Jonas kissing lake. So yeah, I'm giving up. It's a bit disappointing, I know, but it's getting dark quite soon and this area is quite confusing here and there are so many lakes. I will not find it today. Maybe it works next time. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I couldn't find the lake, but I think I found another shooting location by accident. You see the electricity tower over there, and you see the electricity towers over there. I'm pretty sure this scene was filmed right here, or at least somewhere here. There is no Winden nuclear power plant in the middle of the woods, but there is this electricity tower lane. And I'm pretty sure that was filmed with a drone somewhere here. Okay, the last place I want to show you today is called the Dreipfuhl-Siedlung in Berlin. Here we should find the living house of Claudia Tiedemann, and maybe we can also dig out some time machines in the garden.
The Dreipfuhl-Siedlung is quite a special place because there are around 30 houses here that look exactly the same. And they also look not very German. They look like American motels or something. That's because these houses were built in the 1950s for American soldiers. You remember the 1950s? Yep, that's exactly the time when also Claudia Tiedemann's house was built. Today, the Dreipfuhl-Siedlung is a normal residential area, so I decided not to spend half an hour in front of these houses in the dark. That would just be creepy for the residents. Instead, I show you a few pictures I took, and by the way, I found one house that is still empty and is being renovated at the moment, so if you can buy that house, you could actually live like Claudia Tiedemann in the 1980s.
And that was my video for today. Of course, there are a lot more dark filming locations you can find here around Berlin. Do you want to see them? Maybe leave a comment down below and I will make a second episode. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss any upcoming video. And if you'd like to support me and my work, you can check out the Patreon link in the description. That's it for today. Have a safe journey and see you next time.